So I won't make any moves with the Cavs. I won't do it. Not right now. I haven't gotten anything I would consider that's realistic. There is stories being written now that do involve several teams and Kevin Durant. I still don't know how realistic that is. Now, my reasoning for it is because Matt Ishbia despises Dan Gilbert and isn't going to want to help out Dan
Probably
Gilbert.
won't do business with him and vice versa.
I don't want to besmirch Jordan out. I'm sure he's going to be a good basketball coach, but I wonder if that's half the reason they hired the guy, because the two guys that were finalists for the job were Cavs guys. So who the hell knows what's going on out there? I hear more from the Ishbias than I do anything else on the other side. So it seems that it might just be a one-sided argument there with those guys. Anyway, Kevin Durant, it's been conversations where teams have expressed interest, courtesy of Shams Charania. Houston, San Antonio, Miami, Minnesota, New York. I think some other people have predicted that he will end up with the San Antonio Spurs by the time the new league year starts in the NBA. Anthony, Kevin Durant comes with his own set of issues, conversations. Some of them I think are a lot overblown. I used to be a guy who goes, man, this guy's nuts. He's arguing with 14-year-olds on social media? I think he's nuts, but I think he's kind of nuts in a good way. I think of all the athletes who actually can handle it, there's only like 4, and he's one of them in the history of it. One of them is Mike Ditka, and Mike Ditka's dead. He could handle it. Wait a minute, not Mike Ditka. He's alive. Dick Butkus could do it on
Ditka.
Twitter, and he's dead.
Oh, no.
Oh, God. I was like, that doesn't sound
Poor
right. Mike Ditka's the coach.
You wouldn't make that mistake with Jerry Glanville.
Can I come back from that?
Yeah.
Dick Butkus can't, but could I?
Can already sense coming in hot a theme. Here's the thing. Kevin Durant is he'll be 37 coming up in September. There has been zero drop-off in his game. Zero. Look at the numbers. It's actually staggering. You just don't know about it because he's been in Phoenix, and they've been terrible. And he's playing with another good player in Devin Booker, and yet they can't even crack the playoffs. So clearly it didn't work there. He's getting traded. No, I don't think it's going to be to Cleveland. I could make a case for why it could work out.
Why is that?
Well, it's just
his overall talent?
His shooting number. He just shot 43%.
Well, wait a minute. You just told me shooters weren't as important as they used to be.
This is a different guy. I mean, this is a guy who's done it in the playoffs. He's done it in the finals. He's outplayed LeBron in the finals. Like he has made some of the biggest shots during those NBA finals runs. Like he's incredible. You can plop him into any lineup. He's going to give you that. No matter where he goes, he's going to be able to get, unlike some of the guys we've questioned whether or not they can actually step up in the playoffs. There's no questioning Kevin Durant. I mean, the guy is still a freak of nature. I just don't think with their second apron limitations, I just don't think there's any way they could actually make this work. They have to include multiple teams, and they can't do that because of the restrictions of the second apron. This is where the NBA might be making some of the offseason not as fun. Plus, then there's the Ishbia and Gilbert stuff. But make no mistake, like if you took out Darius Garland and plopped in Kevin Durant, yeah, I think we beat the Indiana Pacers last year. That's how good I think Kevin Durant still is.
I was laughing about something else. I'm sorry, because they hear it 30 seconds after I say it, and they're going, "Who died?" Mike Dick is still with us, everybody. I tend to agree with you. It is I think it's still a pie in the sky. You and I had that conversation when Giannis first said, it's like, okay, well, would you be willing to move on from Evan Mobley for Giannis Antetokounmpo? Okay, would you be willing to move on from Evan Mobley for Kevin Durant? Is that a no? I would assume that's a no because he's 37 years old.
Yeah, you're not
just making sure. I think it gets tougher and tougher. And so I keep coming back to the thought of, do you just want to get rid, not you, but everybody else? Do you just want to get rid of guys? Because it is such a major, major gamble. But I keep going back to this. I know that there's been some consternation. I can't believe I'm going to say this. I hope people are recording it. I know what Chris had said over the weekend here on The Fan about Darius Garland has to go. And I know that there's been some people even within that organization kind of subtweeting him and things like that. You can't tell me he'd say that if he didn't know they weren't thinking of something. If they were totally, it is so easy in any professional sport to throw it out there, see where it sticks, and then turn right around and just say, no, the media runs with things, and use the media as some sort of boogeyman, as a stupid boogeyman. I don't think he's saying these things, Chris is, without actually knowing something could be afoot, that there could be a possibility. I mean, it takes 2 or 3 to tango in this league, that something could possibly happen with him. I don't think he'd just say, well, he has to go for this thing to all fit and work out. Something sticks out there. A conversation starts with Darius. I know that there was earlier this week that the Kings would be interested in him. I know they'd be interested in other teams, and what could you get back? There's a very few guys that I would know right off the rip. You would go, this is a done deal. This team's better than Indiana. But this season is just messing with me emotionally. And I think it's messing with a lot of fans emotionally. Because you watch Indiana, and I thought, man, I know we're better than Indiana. Now Indiana's up 2-1 in the series. Am I sure they're better than Indiana? Because you agreed with me a couple days ago, and now, hey, I'm listening to Afternoon Drive yesterday, and they're going, no, there's no way they could beat Indiana.
Anthony, do you trust that this Indiana team will be this Indiana team for the next 3 years?
No, I do not.
Like these players, right? So,
no, which is probably me sounding like everybody in Vegas who continually puts the Pacers as an underdog. They've only been favorites, I guess, in 2 of the games in the playoffs. Can you believe that, Kenny? They're 2 games away from championship. They've only been so nobody, every game they win, it's like, yeah, but they're not going to do it again. And I've been part of it. Like it's staggering to me what they are doing.
Like all of these role guys could just be on a heater, like an epic heater, right?
At the same time. A month and a half.
We asked Tim Bontemps as the season was over, and then he kind of got into an argument with Lyman about it. It was hot stuff. No, I think Indiana winning, I think, can fool us about who we are. I think it can fool us to the ear. You know, if Jason Tatum would have been healthy, do they get the Knicks? Does the matchup then go for the Boston Celtics, and then do the Celtics get there? Because nobody would be surprised if the Celtics were in the finals and up 2-1 against the Oklahoma City Thunder. Like, things in the postseason can change things. Jason Tatum, better player than Darius Garland, more powerful player than Darius Garland. But then I still arrive. If he's able to walk and run in games 1 and 2, is there a different outcome? Is there a different outcome in game 2? Do they not even make it a possibility that that Tyrese Halliburton can hit that shot in game 2? Because if you bring that back to 1-1, I think it might be a little bit different there. I don't know. It's all speculative on something I can't prove.
The reason Owen's asking me that question, I'm guessing, is because you're wondering, do you overreact to what the Pacers are doing and their run, or do you pay attention to the 3 straight years that the Cavs have kind of underperformed in the playoffs?
I'm one that is ready to make some changes. I wanted to make changes last year, and we stayed the course and they changed the head coach. But at the same time, the team's not bad. They won 64 games.
Yeah, they're really good.
They're going to mature more, right? The only one that's old is Donovan Mitchell, and he's not old.
Yeah.
So do you stay the course? If I worry that, I mean, guys that I never knew of 3 weeks ago, I don't believe that they're going to be the new face of the league. So why are we making huge adjustments to bring in? I know Kevin Durant's good at basketball. He's old.
Yeah,
he is old.
And I don't want to make a rash decision on a guy that's going to play here for a year or 2.
All right, 216-474-0092. Does it take something to move mountains that you would make a move with any one of these guys in the core 4? Coming in